Hey guys, and welcome back to another Champcar series video. In this one we're at Road America and we're just getting into the starting lap, the out lap of the race. I did not get a chance to run a qualifying time on this race. However, I don't mind starting at the back. It just keeps me out of trouble when I'm starting into the first couple corners. But we'll just follow along here. We gotta stay behind number 15 here, out lap. And I don't know what they're doing. They're doing a lot of checking up here too. You'll see in the straight in the next couple corners, which kind of it seems a little bit cheeky. It's like they're trying to catch you out or something. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe they just can't keep up with the pace car, and then they catch up. They slam on the brakes. See, like right here, like I don't know, somebody wasn't paying attention and could have caused something crazy there, but just trying to get ready here to have another race, see what position we can finish. In this particular race, it seems like there's only 20 or 21 entries, so we have a good potential to finish fairly high if we can stay out of trouble and not lose out any time on any accidents in the first couple laps. It'd be nice to finish as high as we can, maybe top 15 or so, get some extra points here. Just keep building towards the point total at the end.
I'll take this opportunity of this really long pace lap to give a quick briefing. Thank you all for being here. The fifth round, fourth round of the Champcar series. No, fifth round. And nice big field. Should be a good race. Everyone keep clean. Long race. We're running slightly weird bend config, so be careful coming out of the carousel. People are going to be on odd lines and braking at early spots. We'll get a pit stop. Showing about 3.5 gallons of fuel needed at the moment. I can update if anyone needs it later on in the race once we get into the way. But keep it clean, keep it calm. Any issues can be raised to me after the race, and good luck.
So there it is. Race director gives us the intro, the welcome, the little briefing right before the race. And we're coming up right here to the bend section of Road America, which is the configuration that we are running for this race. And to be honest, I like the other configuration better. The bend just kind of feels like it gets in the way, and I know it's there to slow you down, test your skill, but I just like the flying corners so much better. We've still got a couple corners here left before we get to the start. Like he said, it is a fairly long opening lap, but we'll get racing here soon. We'll be green shortly. Final corners right up here. Want to make sure I'm in a good gear. And I want to check up nice and close right behind number 15. We haven't gone green yet, but you see the pace cars into the pits. We'll be going green shortly here. Check up nice and close. Just be ready to go.
Go, nail it.
There we go. Green, green, green. We're racing. It's a long stretch to the first corner. I want to make sure I can see what's coming up, so I kind of peek out a little bit. But I do enter this fairly conservatively. I don't want to get myself knocked out in the first corner like I have in other races. Kind of takes the air out of your sails, the wind out of your sails.
Well done, Jacob. Good start.
So I realized I had space beside me, get out wide, take this corner as quick as I can, and just try and stay right up tight against them for the long drag here, and hopefully we can get the draft to pull us in close. This is probably the first heavy braking zone try to take it a little conservatively. I don't want to get into the back of somebody and punt them.
Make him do all the work. Focus on your exits.
Just trying to stay as close as I can. Try and put him under pressure and make him make a mistake. Let him take himself out. That way I don't even have to do any work to pass him. He can just remove himself from the racetrack for me. We got a little close on that one. Could have used a little bit more brake, which then put me at a disadvantage in 18th place here. You'll see the green guy got up on my inside and I just had to give him the space. I couldn't cut back across. And then I just tried way too hard to keep up to him, and I just wanted to stay out of the wall. Tried really hard and it's really close. And right now it's just about survival right now to try and stay with the pack. Another heavy braking zone stepping into this corner. I should probably stay a little bit more wide. Can take a little bit more speed and push the corner exit a little bit more. There's a lot of opportunity I'd have around this track.
The front is now 0.7.
As I go around where I can just increase my speed. I needed more practice. I didn't get it in as much as I needed to, and I could have benefited from a little bit more, but gave it all I could at the time. I'm sitting in 16th place right now. I think we had a couple people drop out because now it's saying that it's only 17 people racing. So with only 17 people, it gives me a great opportunity if I can just keep it clean to finish with some good points and just try and climb up the overall points table.
Track limits, come on, keep it between the white lines.
It's a very critical corner here to get it right, and I don't on that one. But it sets up the long straight, and any mistake you make there is just magnified as you get down to the next corner. I'm not staying as far out wide as I need to, and I realized I tried to push out a little bit more. He makes a big mistake. I make a big mistake. Almost
Jacob, track limits, come on.
Almost took him out on that one as we both just dove way too deep on the brakes and couldn't make it for the corner. Which, as you can see, just was detrimental for us to...
The track temperature is falling. It's now 37 Celsius.
To keep up with the pack as we're just now falling behind. Each mistake we make, we just fall further and further behind. Now during this whole race, I was in a conversation with my girlfriend for the whole time, so it was hard to concentrate on both conversation and racing, but it was a welcome challenge, just testing what I can do while I'm somewhat distracted while I'm racing, and it does show that I make quite a few mistakes where if I wasn't as distracted, I maybe could have been a little bit more
track limits. We don't want a penalty.
Attentive and correct on my racing line and staying out wide and hitting the apex. But it was good practice of driving while being distracted, I guess, or at least not having 100% concentration. Braking a little bit earlier than normal on that one. Probably could have gone a little bit deeper. Just trying to keep the momentum through the corner and coming out heavy on the gas. And we seem to catch up to the pack a little bit here.
The gap ahead is now 1.4.
You kind of feel like you're getting that that feeling like you can catch it, like you can do it, and I don't know, they just start slipping away a little bit more and more and more each lap.
The leader has just done a 247.1.
Yeah, the leader is doing a 247.1. And I'm sitting here in 16th place, and I'm going to cross a line, and I did a 253 4.0. So I mean that's a solid 6 seconds slower than first place. So there's a lot of opportunity on this track that I left out there just for time to catch up and go faster. A little too much speed in that corner, didn't hit the apex. That's one thing I need to work on and practice a little bit more on iRacing is using the whole track, staying out wide, turning in at the right moment with the right amount of speed to be able to hit the apex and then roll out back outside to the corner, use the entire width of the corner and accelerate out. I tried that on this one and it worked out pretty good on this one. I got to do more corners like that one where I can just hit the braking points, the apexes, and the acceleration points as I need to, because this corner I struggled with the entire time, not using the whole track. The flying corner I do a little bit better here, using the whole track and getting out there. I missed the shift, which slowed me down. And it's way too wide on that corner. Just missed all the braking point.
Oh no, Jacob, come on, track limits. The track temperature's decreasing. It's now 35 Celsius.
I think that's the most common thing that my race engineer tells me, track limits over and over and over again. Just way too deep on the braking there in the bend, and it just throws you off the entire corner. And you get a poor exit off of this corner, which just magnifies it down the straight.
16.
5 seconds behind 15th place now. And I'm not gaining any time either. That corner there, I probably could have taken a little bit more speed through it and tried to keep it in fourth. I lost about 4/10 of a second.
Front is now 1.0 seconds.
I lost about 4/10 of a second on the last corner on the previous laps. So clearly it's an area I need to improve on. And even this corner I lost 2/10. Which translated to 2 more tenths to this corner. So there's just time all over the place that I was just leaking and not gaining and struggling with. Just too deep, trying to carry too much speed.
Track limits, come on.
See, there he is again, track limits. 6 times off track in 4 laps, that's not good. And now I've lost a whole second since I went across the start finish, and I was up to 6.1 seconds behind 15th. Trying to stay on the throttle and keeping the car to the inside and rolling to the outside and trying to catch as much speed as we can. Heavy on the brakes and overshoot it again. Just not braking soon enough for that corner, and it just sacrifices the rest of that second corner and just lose out on so much time. It seems that I do that a lot. Lose more time than I gain. Although I am back to being under 6 seconds. Well, now it's 6 seconds again from behind number 42 there, Aaron Throp in 15th place. See, I lose too much time in that corner. I just brake too much. I'm not confident with the grip of the car around that corner, and just in that corner alone, I lost a second. And in that corner again, just I didn't carry enough speed through, I didn't turn in at the right moment, and lost another second. Back into the heavy braking zone here, corner 3, I believe it is. This time, instead of pushing out wide, I slow up enough. Actually execute that one pretty good. I can barely see the end of the train there.
Front is now 7.7 seconds.
Coming back up to the bend. Corner I've been struggling with the last couple of times. Still too late on the brakes, but not so much so that I sacrificed everything there. Get a little bit of a better exit. Stand hard in on the throttle for this back straight, as I'm still just seeing the end of the train. Haven't completely lost sight of them, but enough to realize that there's quite the gap, quite the distance for me to catch up. And it's going to take quite a bit of my skill to try and catch up to those guys. Carrying a little bit more speed through that corner, which was good. Still not the greatest corner there. Still has work to be done. Poor little Mazda can't really accelerate up that hill very much. Can maintain its speed, but it struggles to gain any extra kilometers per hour there. Heavy braking, downshifted too far, threw that corner off. These last couple laps, I've been pacing places 13, 14, and 15. I haven't necessarily been losing time to them, but I haven't been gaining. So that is a positive that I'm not losing time anymore. But now I need to try and find those areas for me to start gaining time back on them and see if I can catch back up to them. Especially if I can just catch up to 15th there, I can just start picking up some of the draft on the straights, which will significantly help kind of stay up with them.
For fuel, 33 minutes into the race. Track limits, come on.
Still have a little bit of a sight on the train, still trying to chase them down. not giving up just yet. I struggled quite a bit with time and hitting the best time I could around the track. You can see in my all-time best lap time over there, it was a 2:49.7, and I don't come close to that. I don't even think my optimal time I come close to that. This corner here,
we'll get a penalty if we don't.
just way misjudged the braking point and just plowed right through the corner. And now I'm almost 10 seconds behind Aaron in 15th place, and I'm probably not going to see the train anymore as I come around corners. I think I've lost sight of them. You saw a little bit of a flash of them there, but that's about it. The places I used to see them, definitely not going to see them anymore.
The gap in front is increasing. It's now 9.8.
As you can see, I'm almost 4 seconds slower than my fastest all-time time. And I just seem to never be able to put...
Okay, Jacob, you've used half your fuel.
I can never seem to put all my sectors together. Because even my optimal time is a 2:47.9. And even my best time is 2 seconds slower than my optimal. So there's just... I can't put together solid sectors into one lap. I just make mistakes here and there. Like even that lap was a 2:54. That's 5 seconds slower than what I could do, let alone people that are actually leading this race and have a lot more skill and experience than I do. You can see that even through the first 2 corners, I'm already a second behind my best lap. And that's not a good way to start your lap. Although even though I'm sitting in 16th and I might be the last place of the running cars at this point, even finishing 16th will get me a half decent amount of points to pull me up in the standings. I think there's a total of 68 or 69 entries into the Champcar Sim Series. So clearly with only 16 people signing in and having 69 competitors, it's a huge opportunity to gain some points on those that missed out on this race. So really at this point, the plan isn't anymore of trying to catch the train and pass anybody. It's just to try and stay consistent, don't make any mistakes, and just get it home, collect the points, and try again next week. See, that was better braking for the... Oh, don't know what happened there, guys, sorry. Just completely missed those 2 corners, and that's probably the best 2 corners I did the whole race. So that's a little disappointing.
Fastest lap for Alan, 2:46.4.
Yeah, you can see the first place guys there. Alan is doing a 2:46.4, and I'm over here doing a 2:54. So I mean that's a solid 8 seconds. I'm not even close to being a contender in this one. I mean when you're 8 seconds slower a lap than the lead guys, there's a lot of work you have to do. Just trying to go too fast to that corner and just load right through it.
No, Jacob, track limits, come on.
Just playing in the sand a little bit more than I am the asphalt. I switch over my telemetry to track to my session best lap just to try and see how I'm doing in comparison to myself for this particular one. So you'll probably see a lot more green flashing up to the top there, but I have to keep myself on the track for the laps even to count, so I struggle to do that, let alone even just laying in a good lap time. Like even this one here invalidates
Come on, track limits.
that lap anyway, so even if I did get a faster time in this lap here, it's not even going to count towards my fastest lap.
The gap in front has increased. It's now about 14 seconds.
Oh, it looks like we got 17th place just joined us again, but he's in the pits. Oh, now 11th place is in the pits, and someone must have crashed up front.
Thanks a lot, Ross.
Yeah, there he is, thanking whoever took him
Track
out.
temp's increasing. It's now 37 Celsius.
So hopefully that is going to take him out of contention, and I can jump up a place from 16th to 15th. As long as I just stay consistent and I just don't crash or be taken out just like what he probably was. So again, plan is just staying consistent, let them take each other out, and hopefully just bump up some places based off of that. Working hard, just try and keep it as close to the inside as I can, rolling out to the outside, staying on the throttle, heavy on the brakes, just trying to slow down for the bend. Wasn't terrible, but I definitely had better, and then I just completely threw that one away. Again, out playing in the sand.
Track limits.
Yep, I know, track limits. I'm trying. Oh, 17th place, looks like they disconnected again. But that's good. One less person means one more place. Still lapping a 1.5 seconds slower than my best time in this race already. See if I can gain any time in the second to last corner there, but still can't, and then drop to over 2 seconds slower. There's no way I can be competitive when I'm going to be lapping at a pace that's 2 seconds slower than my best, let alone 8 seconds slower than the best that's out there.
P15.
And there we are, jumping the place up on top of Jay, who was taken out. Sometimes you don't have to see them to pass them. They'll just hang out in the pits and you can get your freeze lap time.
Albert is now in the lead.
I'm slightly going faster than my best time right now, and I'm going to try and
Got 10 minutes of fuel remaining.
keep this one going. Heavy on the brakes, try to slow down the car, and doesn't quite get it to where I need to the point where I can actually hit the
Track
apex.
temperature's rising. It's now 39 Celsius.
And now I'm down 0.2 from where I was. Gain a little bit back in this corner, but late on the accelerator coming out, so I don't really gain much. Trying to stay fast and hard on this one, use up the whole track, and just drive this as straight and as far into the corner as we can. On the brakes, turn in, try to hit that apex and roll out, and still lost another 1/10 of a second there. Fighting to stay to the inside, slowly gaining time. But we just lost the grip and slid out, and we just lose our
Might be a
time.
good time to turn off your fast repair if you're not going to need it, in case you have trouble in the second half of the race.
Get a solid exit up this corner, and you can just see how much time, it's pretty much half a second I gained back. Even though I lost it under braking, I pretty much maintained the same lap time speed there. Sixteenth place is back on the racetrack, Jay. It's about 1 minute and 14 behind me.
What's the difference on whether or not it's on or off?
If you have the slightest bit of damage, that will repair it, even if it's not necessarily affecting your pace. It's probably better if you don't think you have any pace affecting damage, leave it off until you really
The
need
car
it.
ahead's pitting.
you can blow your engine and then game over.
Couple cars in the pits here that we're going to be able to pass. Not sure why they pitted so early when you still got a significant amount of fuel left. Still got essentially 2 laps left of fuel in my tank.
Yeah, the over-rev protection isn't so great on these motors, so you can pop them.
Still over a minute behind first place there.
This guy.
Same here.
Just a little bit too fast into that corner, otherwise I could have kept the 6/10 so I was up. You'll just see me bleed out time down this straight because I didn't get the right exit.
19 seconds.
Heavy on the brakes, heavy on the brakes. Don't necessarily get the turn in I need, but wasn't a terrible corner. I've had worse. Now I do have 18th place just in front of me here. And we'll see if we can chase him down and at least get a pass in this race. Even though it really doesn't mean anything because he's a lap traffic anyway. But I am lapping faster than my best time right now, which is definitely a bonus and benefit. Definitely want to see if we can keep that going. And just as I say that, we pretty much lose it all in that corner. And it's completely gone. Back to being slower. Where I normally am. Heavy into the brakes in the bend. That's a good corner there. Slide this across. It was half decent. Picked up a little bit of speed. Definitely catching this guy. The 18th place lap traffic here. Was 5 seconds behind him, now only a 3.7 on this lap. So I'm pushing. This is more of like a motivational victory, small victory here to try and actually pass somebody. So that's what I'm kind of pushing for here. Just a small thing, small targets.
The car ahead's pitting now.
And again, just in that corner, I lose another second, even to the slower lap traffic. I don't have that corner down. I don't know my pace.
Sorry, mate, I didn't catch that. B13, we're running on fumes, mate. In this lap, box this lap. Please, Jacob, you're breaking up. Say again, please.
This is one when I'm sitting there and I'm trying to tell them to, you know, film me to the end of the race to set up the amount of fuel that I should take in. And I realized eventually that my mic was muted, so they can't hear me.
No, I just can't hear you.
So he's going to keep going back and forth where I'm trying to talk to him, and he's going to say, hey, can't hear you, can't hear you. Well, it's because my mic wasn't working.
2 litres remaining. I didn't catch that. No, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, just getting more and more irritated why it's not working.
Pit stop.
Half distance should be about 4 minutes of fuel left. We'll fill you to the end of the race.
There we go. I finally figured it out. Clicked the mic on. Got it in where I needed it. And they're looking to put 14 liters of fuel. I'm still not catching the lap traffic though. He must have found his groove because now he's 7 seconds ahead of me. So I just, I was trying to catch somebody and couldn't even catch lap traffic.
The gap's now 19 seconds.
Boy, I'm going to pit next lap. You can have the front straight.
still haven't beat my best time of 2:52.7, which I think was like on my second or third lap. So even after putting in 11 laps, I still haven't been able to best myself. It is a fun course
The
though.
car in front is pitting.
It is a fun course to rip around, and it is challenging, and it does seem technical enough to challenge and bring out those that don't have the skill like myself. So it just highlights the amount of practice I really needed, more seat time.
Watch your speed.
Which is the whole intent of getting into iRacing, is just gain some more seat time and get used to the nuances.
Activate limiter.
I wasn't paying attention and I just went way
Just been
too
handed a
fast.
stop go penalty.
And I just picked up a stop and go penalty. Now, luckily for me, they do apply it to this pit stop. But I need to really map a pit limiter to my controls, so that way that doesn't happen
You've
again.
still got an outstanding penalty.
Because you do end up...
You've got 3 laps to serve this penalty.
You will end up seeing later on in the race how this 15 seconds hurt me. I think I could have made another place if I didn't have this penalty. Now, another thing you'll see too is when you flipped over to the fuel screen, I don't know if I'll do it again, but it said that they were only adding 12 liters when it said I need to have 14 to fuel to the end. I didn't realize that at this point in the race, but I mean, it'll come back and bite me later on. So here I'm off. It says I was in 12th, but I know I'm not in that position. I think I'm down in 15th, legitimately.
There's a car behind.
Wrong,
Take care,
John,
rejoin
I'm
him.
kidding.
But I'm off again. Full tank. Windshield's all clean. I'm back at it trying to
The track temperature is
catch wherever I
increasing. It's
can.
now 42 Celsius.
Maybe try
Rear car's
and
pitting.
keep Jay off my back, but I don't think that takes too long for him to catch up to me and pass me. I mean, around the first corner, he was more than a second behind me, and now he's already almost half a second behind me, so the pressure will be on real quick. Heavy into the brakes. Try to get back on the gas as soon as I can. Definitely makes the race a little bit more exciting when there's actually someone behind you pressuring you to actually go faster, or at least lead by example for you to see where you're going slower. He's probably following me on this one and just wishing that I'd get out of his way. But, I mean, we're both on the lead lap. We're both battling for this position. Well, at least he's battling more than I am. I'm just trying to survive.
Thank you, Chris.
Okay, Jacob, hold your nerve. Just keep it smooth.
Yeah,
No
no problem,
mistakes.
I seem to be holding him off, but I don't know if that's just because I'm being a little bit more erratic and he doesn't know how to get around me. But I'm pretty sure he dives me here. Yeah, he dives me to the inside, and then I just have to concede. And I try to take him right back, but he just squeezes in front of me. And I mean, we're close now. I even have to let off the gas to make sure I don't tap him in the back. Which, I mean, maybe I could have done that just to show him that, hey, I'm not going to give you my space, but... And then you can just see there visually the time that I lose in that corner. And we'll see what position I really am here coming across the line. P15.
Don't think about the lap times. Just hit each and every apex. 14th.
Now he says 14th, but iRacing claims it as 15th, so maybe somebody else has dropped out that I'm not aware of. But that corner just did a little bit better, coming out of it half a second up in my fastest time. See if I can keep that going. Brake in, slide it in. Just carry a little bit too much speed through here. Can't get on the accelerator as soon as I need to actually continue my advantage. But I don't lose too many tenths off this, and I'm sure the draft was definitely helping me down the back stretch. But now I'm just trying to follow Jay's example here and just stay as close as I can to him and maybe learn a little bit as I go around this track from a faster driver. But this year I blow it, just not paying attention enough and just blow way deep to the corner and completely lose everything. I went from being half a second up to being pretty much a full second down. So you can see how pivotal that corner is, and it's hitting the braking mark, and it can make or break your lap. Starting to gain some of that time back, but even if I do get a fastest lap here, it's not going to count anyway because I went off track. So, which I think I'm up to 13, which is essentially 1 incident per lap, which kind of sucks. It's kind of a bad record. Get into the brakes here, just push the braking zone way too far, which throws you off for these corners, and you just lose more time.
The gap in front is now 2.5 seconds.
It is nice though being able to see another racer here and being able to try and chase him down as much as I try and as hard as I want to try. Even though I don't think I'm actually going to catch him, but at least it gives you a motivation, it gives you a target, something to point at and work towards. As you can see, I'm definitely running the second half of this lap a little bit faster as I've caught up to only being 0.3 of a second back. Even through the final corner, I continued to gain some time. So it's a good little recovery in that lap to try and pick up from my mistakes, but it still is not going to be enough. So now iRacing has me listed as P14 on lap 14. Have a bit of an advantage coming through here, get back on that gas, and just held it half decent there. We'll see how much time I bleed off, but quarter of a second up from where I was. I'll take that at this point, see if I can build on that on this lap. Braking a bit early, and that counts as off track. So I didn't know exactly where they started counting as off track there, because I mean it looked like I was still on the rumble strips, which I would think is still counting as being on the track, but maybe they're counting it as once all 4 tires hit the rumble strips. I wasn't too sure, but I've got quite a few there which I hit that impacted my off track on track percentage and the amount of incidents I had there.
The gap ahead is now 3.5.
I'm not losing too much time, maybe about 3/4 of a second per lap, which feels a little bit better than where I was losing to previous laps, but you can just see how much more time you can gain when you actually properly do the bend section there, or the bend section, as I gained 0.3 of a second, even on J, not even let alone my own time. And it's just too bad that I've already done an off track and this one won't really count. And I kind of botched that corner a bit, and he was able to essentially gain his time right back. But you can see if I can actually consistently hit the bend, then I'll be doing a lot better. And then that exit on the last corner, I will bleed away this entire bonus time or negative time I have to my best lap. It'll be completely gone by the time I hit the finish line here. If not, it'd be so close that it wouldn't really matter. Yeah, 0.05 seconds. Not that it really counted anyway. Again, up 0.3 of a second, see if I can carry this through. Getting some positive time here. And it looks like I might be able to hold it off. Yeah, got a good exit off that one. Actually gaining time down the straight, which is a first for this race so far, which is quite nice. I just got to make sure I hit my braking point here. Slow the car down enough to hit the apex. Roll it out. And there we go. That was a much better first little sector that I had going there. Just over 3/4 of a second up from where I was.
Is now leading.
And I blow it all on that corner. As well as I did the first couple corners, I just bleeded away every single corner since. And at this point, it was quite frustrating that even as I get an advantage and I do something right and I get better, I just can't keep that consistency for the entire lap, and I just lose out as I keep going. And I mean, that's probably why my optimal lap is 2.5 seconds faster than my best lap. I can never put together solid sectors. And even this one being half a second up.
No, Jacob, track limits, come on. The gap in front is now 5.0.
I still go off track, and I lose the validity of this lap. So now this one won't even count. And it was something that I did struggle with in practice. I think during the practice race, during my qualifying section there, I did 21 laps, and I had 18 incidents, so only 3 of my 21 laps even counted. So it definitely was something I struggled with here on the Road America, was just staying between the lines. Because here, half a second faster than my best lap could have put me at least into the low. Yeah, 2:52.0 would have been my best lap there, but nope, invalidated because I went a little bit off track. It's quite frustrating after a while. Another solid first couple corners here. Kind of blow the exit there, so I lose all my advantage, but going to the corner was looking fairly promising. Still sitting in 14th place, losing track of 13th. First place is still just under a minute behind me, so I don't know if I'll see them, or at least I might not be able to. I might save myself from being lapped and save myself that embarrassment for this race. But they're at least close enough that the relative board is letting me know where they're at. Now I'm hoping there where it says Scott Grimmel P11 was in the pits, so he might have spun out, which might be giving us another extra place. So who knows, we might come around in a couple laps and find ourselves in 13th place instead of 14th, gaining another spot without really having to work for it. Now this lap, amazingly enough, I've made it almost halfway around, and I'm only a 10th down on my fastest lap. Who knows, I might even put one in here where I don't go off track. get another heavy braking zone, slow the car down for the bend, cut across, stay tight, get ready for this corner, get on the gas, get out of here, and good exit there, only down 1/4 of a second. We'll see what we can work with here. Or maybe I can finally solve the last corner and make up some time and get a little bit more pace out of this lap. It's perfect, running the corner well.
The gap in front has increased. It's now about 7.0 seconds.
Pretty much got us even here. Now we're actually going faster. It's quite exciting. Maybe I'll actually get... Oh, nope, there it goes. Just like that, and it's gone. I mean, it was a faster Sector 6 for me than I've had in the past. So, I mean, I've improved on Sector 6. I've just lost in 7, 5, 4. So I just losing too much time. Not getting the exit I need out of the last corner, and it's killing me. But, on the bright side, I actually finished a lap that was valid.
Jacob, don't think about the lap times. Just hit each and every apex. P13.
And wasn't removed. So that's a bonus right there, I guess, right? And just right there, I just announced that I went back to P13. Scott Grimmel, he's blue now, so that means it's a lap down. And it looks like he's still in the pits as he's just dropping time like forever, just dropping it like crazy. Solid exit out of this corner. I'm actually gaining time here, half a second up. This could be it. Maybe I'll actually get a faster lap than what I had. We'll see. Gotta make sure I nail this braking zone. Slow the car down enough to be able to hit this apex, roll out easy on the gas. And I ruined it by going off track.
Between the white lines or we'll get a penalty.
Like so close on that corner, I just nip right in the corner where I guess it doesn't count as a track anymore. But yeah, it'd be a second up on my best lap so far, and I'm seems to be holding that and pushing hard. And Scott Grimmel's back in white there on the relative board, so that means he's back on the track. Probably utilize his fast repair. So now I have him behind me, 45 seconds, which I should be clear from as long as I don't make any serious or critical mistake. Still holding that second up. Let's see if I can hold it through the bend. Braking a little bit earlier than normal. Lost quite a bit of time, but hopefully I can gain it by hitting the apexes and coming out strong.
The gap ahead is now 8.0 seconds.
So I lost pretty much a tenth there by braking too early. Couldn't carry it through. Heavy on the brakes, see if I can gain the time. Gaining the time here, rolling out, staying on the gas. I just didn't hit the exit as best as I've done in the past. Gotta work on that exit on that corner. And I come up to my nemesis, the one corner I've had trouble with the entire time, the final corner. See if I can gain any time, hold it, stay on the throttle, push it, push it, push it. Half a second faster than my previous time, which is nice, but it still doesn't count because I invalidated it in sector number 3. Still losing time to 12th place though, just about 10 seconds behind. But now as we're approaching the end of this race, there's only a couple laps left with the amount of time that's left, and he's only 9 seconds up. So if I didn't have that 15-second penalty for speeding in the pits, I might still be in 12th place instead of 13th place. So I think if I can stop making the simple mistakes, like speeding in the pit lane, something that anybody with any experience should know not to do. Even though there's systems in place, I still don't have that system set up, so it seems stupid that I even get a penalty for that. It should be a non-issue, but anyway, I made that mistake this race, got that 15-second time penalty, and now it looks like it's going to cost me a place in this race.
on, Jacob. Track limits, come on.
That was a much better corner there, just not hitting the brakes so much and just carrying my momentum through. Still learning stuff every lap I go around here, how to go faster. It looks with the amount of time I have left that I should be able to hold off Scott. He shouldn't be coming back the 45 seconds to catch me now, as long as I can keep it on the pavement and stay out of the grass and don't make any critical mistakes. Make sure I get the bend here properly. See, good corner here, good corner there, get back on the gas. And just like that, I'm up. Now, I still invalidated it on the third lap, or the third sector. In sector 1, I was up half a second. I matched my sector 2 time. I was down half a second in 3, matched my 4th sector, and now I'm up on the 5th sector.
You've got 10 minutes of fuel remaining.
So this is definitely a pretty solid lap I was putting in here. So I'm definitely pleased with it. I just needed to work on sector 3 there. Solid corner and exit there, still gaining time. As now I'm still up in sector 6. And my optimal lap just gets better, but I just can't put together a good fastest lap. And I'm nowhere near the apex and just blow that third corner. And in sector 7, I just lose time hand over fist. It's probably going to be about 3/4 of a second by the time I get to the line. And that's just, it's frustrating that there's that corner that just keeps getting you out. Like, if there's anything that I'd write down as what I need to practice on this racetrack for the next time I have to race here, it's that last corner. Just during the practice session, just hit it slow a couple times, find that line, and then slowly pick up the speed. Still finding time in the first sector here. Lost out on that corner though, didn't get the exit I needed. But still up a 1/4 of a second.
The gap in front is now 11 seconds.
Scott is still 46 seconds behind us, and he's about to get lapped by the leader Alex there. So I'm sure once he gets lapped, that's going to slow him down even more.
Go right, go right, go right. All you guys go right.
Scott's just giving the instructions there to first, second, and third. I'm sure you don't want to be the guy to ruin their race, because they're tight. They're within pretty much 3/4 of a second, 1, 2, and 3 all on their own after a good solid 20 laps. That's pretty good. But right now the battle is just to keep 13th here, don't get past, and just try not to get lapped here. Still not using the full course for the bend here. Probably could push it a little bit farther on the outside there, which can help me probably just carry a little bit more speed through that corner. But it's still exited nice. Gaining time now down on the straight. Still a slow 4th sector, but definitely a quicker 5th sector. And I haven't quite invalidated this lap yet, so I might actually have a chance of having a faster lap here. Let's see how well I can do. Let's watch this braking hard in the braking zone. Turn it in. And there we go. There's my invalid lap right there. Just when you think you can do it, just when you're trying to get it, and you mention it, you blow it. Let's see if I can make up any time here on the last corner. It's just that exit off that corner. I have not been able to land the straight. I'm always losing speed down this straight. Well, it seems that first place there wasn't able to gain any real time on me though. Still 46 seconds, which means they have to be lapping in the 252s, the 251s. So I don't feel like I'm that far off, on my my consistent pace as far as being somewhat dialed in, but it's just when I make my mistakes I just lose all that time. Like here, I tried to catch up time, but then I just, whatever I tried to gain, I just end up losing because I just blow way through the corner. Gotta make sure I hit this braking zone, slowing the car down, make sure I go out wide enough to use the whole track, and didn't slow down enough to hit the apex. So right there, you're just gonna lose time hand over fist. And just like that, the leaders have now gained 3 seconds on me in the last, essentially, lap. And I blew that corner too and just threw that away, which I'm sure now the leaders are gonna catch up that much more on me.
Alan is now in the lead.
Gaining a little bit of time back in that corner.
Okay,
He's
Jacob,
trying to.
5 minutes of fuel remaining. 5 minutes.
Now Jay's right on that threshold of that 14 to 15 seconds, where if I didn't make that penalty yet, we probably would have been battling for 12th and 13th right now. And who knows, if he's behind you, he might not get that opportunity to pass.
2 litres remaining.
Still pushing hard, just trying to keep the lap times consistent. Clearly I've made my mistakes on this one, which throws me way off. Sector 3, I'm essentially second and 0.3 off my previous pace, so clearly this lap is kind of thrown away, but if you take out that sector, I'm at least matching where I was and staying consistent in these sectors of the course.
I'm so sorry.
Looks like 15th place there. Ross is back in the pits. Must have made a mistake somewhere. I don't know if he took anybody else out with him.
Very little fuel left. That was at 254.1.
Now, I should have paid attention to the warnings that he was giving me. And this is where the fact that they said that they were going to put 14 liters in, but only ended up putting 12 in, starts to become evident. Solidly up through the first 2 corners there. 0.6 of a second. Gotta try and hold this out and see how far you can pull this through. And it all comes down to the next corner here, which I think is the start of Sector 3. If I can hit my braking point and be able to turn the car in, I should be able to carry some of this time through and potentially push for a fastest lap. But it looks like I'm going to dive way too deep
Albert is now leading.
and invalidate my lap.
Oh no, Jacob, come on, track limits.
Battling to try and get it back on this corner, but can't seem to get any of that time back.
1 litre remaining.
I've only got a liter of fuel, which is going to cause me some issues. Pushing hard here to try and stay as close as I can to Jay. Not that he's really close, but I just want to try and cut that gap down if I can. Using the full width of the track a little bit better here on the bend. Allows me to turn it a little bit nicer. And you can just see how much time I gained there. I could just clawed back over half a second or more there just doing that properly. So it's just my consistency is in question here, just being able to do the right things at the right times over and over and over again. Repeating the proper steps just wasn't there, which just means I need more practice. And more practice in the same tracks doing the right things over and over and over again. and just building on my consistency. Oh, number 9 there is showing like he's in the pits. I wonder what happened there. Might be another opportunity to gain another place. Maybe jump from 13th to 12th. He must have had his fast repair left because he's back out on the track there. I'm assuming he's in 11th place here. And this is the white flag last lap. And this is when it all falls apart. Right here.
One more lap to go.
It's stuttering, and at this point I'm not sure why. I don't know what's going on. I was looking, the water temperature looked good, the oil pressure looked good. It didn't feel like I had any engine issues. And I just seemed like I couldn't accelerate or anything. And I'm trying to figure it out, and I'm wondering what's going on. And eventually I'll pull over to the fuel screen and I'll realize that I ran out of gas. And this is a big lesson learned, that if my crew chief is saying that I need 14 liters, but that's right between the interval that iRacing lets you select between, because it lets you select between 12 and 16, then I needed to add
about that. 268 on my gas gauge.
a little bit more.
Just ran out of fuel across the line.
So now I know for next time, if it's in the middle, add more fuel. And this is when I realize, as I come around this hill, I'm trying to keep as much speed as I can, that I'm not going to make it back around, and I'll need to ask for a tow. And I was really concerned that I was going to lose my 13th place to Scott, but I had no other choice. I had to call for the tow and get pulled in here because there's no fuel. There's no chance that I was going to be able to get anywhere.
Guys. Good race.
So you see here the results. Finished in 13th, started in 17th. 1 lap down is what they eventually put me as. Average time at 2:56, which is absolutely terrible when the average time was a 2:50. 6 seconds per lap for the entire time was just, it's not acceptable, but that's just my practice and having to get better. My fastest lap there is a 2:52.7, which I know I've had faster, but I just invalidated most of them. As you can see, I had 20 incidents and 21 laps completed, which is just, it's not acceptable having that many incidents. It's just not going to work out in anyone's favor if you have that many incidents in a race. Although you can see a lot of people had fairly high, except for the first place there was 6. Third place had 41. I don't know if they were tapping or something, but that's a lot of off tracks or whatever there. So I guess I could at least say I was half of what third place's incidents were. Here you can see the standings, 5 races in. You can see Alex is up there with 224 points. I'm down here with 68 points. Now I missed the first 2 races, so I have 0 points for those. So I definitely have some zeros in the bag there, which will help me later on in the future. They'll drop out as I drop the 4, but there's 62 competitors. And right now I believe I was sitting up in 18th place, I thought it was. Where did it go? In 17th place with 68 points, or at least tied for 18th. So happy with that. And I just need to get some more points in the next races here. And with that, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.